what we've just done is a way to learn English. It's not how you learn English. But it's a way in a big class of getting everyone's attention, of raising the level of the class, of getting a little work done on stress and intonation, of having a bit of fun, of everyone feeling a sense of group identity and part of a group and everything else like that. And in the end, in only 5 minutes, something entirely positive happened there, I think, because you got to say something. Everyone got to say a dialogue twice over from different... You've got to say all the lines of the dialogues at least 2 or 3 times. And now, of course, what I'll do with you is what? I'm not going to, because we've got other things to do. But if you were students, what would I do now? I'd let you practice in pairs. Now you've done it, you're not frightened of it anymore because you've all done it together and no one said how good you were, how bad you were. And now you can practice it in pairs and you can be this and that and practice in pairs. And then maybe then, if I say to you, okay, now let's just hear it. The whole class will listen to you. Maybe that will be all right and it won't be so bad. And of course, then what I'll do is I'll go forward and instead of talking about exams, we say, how was the audition? How was the meeting with your future mother-in-law? No, how was the, or something like that, whatever you do. The point about big classes is, and it seems, I find it incredible for myself to be making you do half-class choral repetitions, something I learned to do in well, aquel entonces, it's just some time ago. But it's not a bad technique with a big class. It has its merits. Of course, what went wrong with it, particularly during the audiovisual phase of the 1950s or the 1960s, is that teachers would keep that sort of thing going on and on and on and on and on. And if I'd done it for about 5 more minutes, I would have lost you. Or rather, you'd have kept doing it because you're very polite. But you'd have started to think, what the hell are we doing? This is ridiculous. So the point about techniques like that is that they're entirely useful for group solidarity, for giving everyone a chance to practice without any fear. But the whole beauty of I'll start again. The whole effect of them is gained by using them sparingly and not doing it all the time. Choral repetition in general is a good idea at almost every level of teaching, whether it's for stress or intonation or anything else like that. But the mistake that is made by some teachers is to overuse it. And the mistake that's made by other teachers is not to use it at all, in my opinion. If that's all I ever did, I've had quite good fun so far. I've actually had more fun than you so far in this talk, because I've been in charge. And I like being in charge. And it gives you a sense of great power. You know, and if I was a preacher, you know, oh, wouldn't it be fun? Anyway, so but I need to hand over. I need to start handing over to you. I need to start handing over to you. This is a program of a play called Equus. Have you heard about the play Equus? It was, some of you, yes, some of you know. This was a play that's written by Peter Schaffer. And it was estrenado. It was, what would you call it? It came out, it was written. It was first performed in about 1970 something. The picture sort of tells you what it's all about, and it's pretty gruesome. The play deals with an incident in which a teenage boy, working at a stables with horses, takes a knife and he blinds all the horses. That happens before the play starts. You don't see it. And the whole play is about the boy is sent to a mental institution, because obviously there must be something a bit crazy about him to do that. He's sent to a mental institution where he works with a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist tries to unlock what it was that caused this thing to happen. And it's a play all about, it's a play about wonder and awe, because the boy has somehow got into a rather mixed up idea that horses are gods. Equus, the horse, they're gods, and he has this kind of religious feeling about horses in his rather mixed up adolescent mind. So that when later on, with a girl in the stables, he has his first sexual experience, but is unable to whatever. The shock that this provokes in him and the psychological chaos it provokes in him leads him to blind the witnesses to this event. His gods have seen him fail in this most intimate and that we understand because we read about it, we talk about that stuff, but maybe if you're an adolescent you don't. Anyway, that's the play. And what's amazing about the play is that although it reads slightly old-fashioned already, and less than about 30 years later, it already seems a bit old-fashioned. What's amazing about the play is the psychiatrist and the boy engage in a kind of battle of wits. And as the boy is cured, so the psychiatrist gets more depressed. Because he feels that in curing the boy, he takes away from the boy the sense of wonder that the boy had before this all happened. We first meet the boy after the psychiatrist has been wandering through the hospital. And as he wanders past the boy's room, he opens the door because the boy is shouting in his sleep, having a nightmare. And what he's shouting is the word ek, 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 which the psychiatrist doesn't yet know what it means. You know what it means because you now know the plot of this. It's short for Equus. Ek, ek, ek. And the following morning, they have their first real conversation. And this is a still from that 1970 production, and you can tell from what they're wearing and things like that. And see the Oscura, you will now hear that thing. Let's see.
Hello. How are you this morning? Come on, sit down. Sorry if I gave you a start last night. I was collecting some papers from my office and I thought I'd look in on you. You dream often?
Do you?
It's my job to ask the questions, yours to answer them.
Says who?
Says me. Do you dream often?
Do you?
Look, Alan.
I'll answer if you answer. In turns.
Very well. Only we have to speak the truth.
Very well.
So, do you dream often?
Yes, do you?
Yes. Do you have a special dream?
No, do you?
Yes. What was your dream about last night?
Can't remember. What's yours about?
I said the truth.
That is the truth. What's yours about? The special one.
Carving up children. My turn.
What?
What is your first memory of a horse?
What do you mean?
The first time one entered your life in any way.
Can't remember.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You have no recollection of the first time you noticed a horse?
I told you. Now it's my turn. Are you married?
I am.
Is she a doctor too?
It's my turn.
Yes, well what?
What is ek? You shouted it out last night in your sleep. I thought you might like to talk about it.
Double diamond works wonders, works wonders, works wonders.
Come on now, you can...
Wonders for you.
All right. Good morning.
What do you mean?
We're finished for today.
But I've only had 10 minutes.
Too bad. Didn't you hear me? I said good morning.
Well, that's not fair.
No?
The government pays you 20 quid an hour to see me. I know, I heard downstairs.
Well, go back there and hear some more.
That's not fair. You're a Swiss. Bloody Swiss. Bloody Swiss.
Do I have to call nurse?
She puts her finger on me, I'll bash her.
She'll bash you much harder, I can assure you. Now go away.
That's it. That's a little extract. By the way, can we have the handouts now? While they're handing out the handouts, and we'll do this as quickly as we can, I must just tell you that in 1970s,